Well, believe it or not, we do have some sort of like introduction. We do.
We do.
At least.
We clap.
Yes.
So we try to. So it helps the editing.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck you.
So.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Go for it.
Just
Yeah.
one.
You
No,
go.
I'm good.
No, we need for your camera.
Johannes, do you want to do it?
Okay. You can.
Okay.
Oh.
That's perfect.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 14. Today we have Conan and Johannes, but also known as Half of a Rainbow. So yeah, welcome guys, and let's just get started. Do you have the first question for us, Sebastian? Or should we
Yeah, I
start?
mean, just to get going, it'd be nice to know why you guys moved to Berlin independently, or if you guys knew each other before. What the kind of history for that was, and how you ended up here.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Oh shit.
Oh, I got it. It's like this time to just kind of shit. So.
Yeah.
Wait.
Mine one. You worked with
You
a lot
broke
worse
the
stands
stand,
before.
Johannes.
Go first, Conan.
I'll go first then. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I moved because Johannes was desperately lonely. He needed another half of a rainbow.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do that pun for so long. But no, I think I moved here because I just didn't want to go to the UK. That was it. That was like,
Same.
I said basically anything except England.
Same.
No way.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I was actually looking at an essay, basically to study, but I was looking at an SAE in Belgium. There's one in Brussels, which is where I grew up, and everyone said it was terrible. So I looked at Berlin, and it seemed to be really big in the music industry, and there was BIM somewhere that took my crappy A levels, and and that's why I came really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me it was kind of like Berlin was always like around the corner, really. Like I grew up, like I was born in Berlin, and then I grew up in a small town close to Berlin. But Berlin was always like this kind of creative hub that I wanted to dive into as an artist, really. So it was kind of like I knew for a long time that I would move to Berlin, and like going to BIM University was just a natural thing to do then, to like go to university and like try to start here as an artist.
Yeah.
But it's been like, it was kind of clear for a long time for me. So and that's when we met as well, in like first year of studies.
Right. Yeah. And then for you guys are co-producing this song, right?
Yeah,
What does that kind of look like for you guys? Is it who's doing what in the studio?
In the studio.
In the
Or
big studio that we have in the Rose
In your
house.
room, whatever it
We're
is.
talking
Yeah.
we're talking about bedrooms, I think.
And a bar. And a bar.
And about
Was there some?
you know Dona 115?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we recorded the first. So basically, we recorded an album together.
Let's go back further.
Let's go back
The
further.
first thing was, you guys know about outsider music?
No.
Please, this is where you come in.
Yeah, you have to go closer to the
Okay.
mic, I think.
Do you guys know about outsider music? Outsider music, I would have let Johannes explain.
No, I think we should go further back
even further back.
to when because we met in school, and we didn't really know each other, and then like one day I know, because I know the first time that we met up was like
It's been an evolution for sure.
because I had bought some weed, but I had never rolled a joint before, and I was and I was I was calling him up because like we didn't really know each other, but I was like, he's cool, and he probably knows how to roll a joint. So I was calling him up, and I was like, do you know how to roll a joint? And he was like, yeah, and I just came over and he showed me how to roll a joint, and that's how our friendship started, and we just started hanging out.
And we base all of our musical work off of that one experience.
Off that one joint. No, and then and we hung out a couple times. Not really. It didn't really have anything to do with music. And then I had this project called Johnny and the Shit Takers, which was basically the concept that I had in mind for a long time, where I wanted to perform my own songs with a band, like with a 4-piece band, and do like one take, do everything in one take, and each of the instrumentalists is not actually able to play the instrument, like they've never learned the instrument. So it's kind of like you know, like the guitarist gets the piano and the pianist gets the guitar, and like they've never really played the instrument before.
Really never played. So bad.
And that was kind of the concept. And
it was a cool idea. And every one of these, I was like, he's got this really weird, like, cool idea. I'd never heard of outsider music before, but there's a whole genre of this stuff.
There's a whole genre of this kind of
so
stuff.
that's why it's called. That makes
it's
all making sense.
Like there's some great bands like the Shacks, for example, which is this legendary like trio of sisters from the 60s, and they recorded this awful album together, and like they just couldn't play music at all, but I think no one told them, but they still recorded an album, and it's kind of like this like niche thing where people like it's just like really bad to a point where it gets really interesting. And I was kind of interested in replicating that.
Yeah, so listen to our new album. It's coming out really soon.
No, and that's when I asked you to like. I was like, I have this project. Do you wanna engineer? Do you wanna do all the engineering work?
Yeah.
And that was the first project.
I think normally how it's working is he comes up with something really funky, and I try not to affect the funk, but I record the funk. So in the case of Chad's Bar, which is where we did the first
Donna 115,
Yes.
Donna 115.
That's where we recorded that.
And can you give us just like a little background to those who don't know what this bar is? Like, it's a little jazz.
It's basically
club,
this
like little.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically this experimental jazz bar in Neukölln where it's like we knew it because the bar owner was also teaching in our first semester. And he kind of invited me to, I was asking him, can I just record at your bar? Because it was locked down, it was like not open. And I just went in there and we recorded that project.
Yeah, the uni wasn't open at that point, so we usually would record at the uni. We didn't really for these projects, but because we started in this weird, funky bar, you know, we continued on. But I think it was from that Johnny and the Shit Takers project, it was like this works. I mean, we're making like weird outsider music. It was crap music. And
I liked it.
Yeah, he likes it.
I was like the only one who liked it.
Genuinely.
It's really sad.
We made a cool film though. I watched the film every now and again.
Yeah, and I made a little documentary.
I watched it yesterday actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the first time in a while.
Cool.
It's nice, but the music is terrible. And
but it's not,
and then after that, it was like really it's super easy to. Like that way of working really worked well. Cool idea. Okay, I can do that. I like the cool idea.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else. Do you think anyone else would have? If you were like, maybe actually.
I think
Chad probably would have done it.
Yeah, the bar owner, Chad.
Yeah, Chad.
He probably would have done the engineering work as
Definitely.
well.
Yeah.
And that's the basis of your creative relationship. It's just like, who else would be down? Who else?
Who else would
You
record
only
that
got me.
bullshit?
Please, someone else.
No, and then it was like then we hung out a couple times, and then for the stuff that's gonna be released now that we recorded back then, because I can vividly remember, I called you up and I was like, hey man, do you want to record an album together?
Yeah, that was.
And you were like, yeah, and it was like a really quick call, and that just like started like 1.5 years of work.
Yeah,
It's really funny.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. That was it.
And then when did Half of a Rainbow? Because that pre Half of a Rainbow.
No, that
was
Half of a Rainbow, like the
like that, or
project
it was
already
the
existed.
really. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the origin of that. Wow. And then it turned in, or no.
No, Half of a Rainbow already existed like way back when I was not even living in Berlin.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Basically.
that didn't develop when you were in school. That was
What
like
do you mean?
Like in college.
in college,
No,
exactly.
That was
uni.
definitely before
Yeah.
we even met.
Wow.
When I met Johannes, he had all of these little EPs. Little projects that he had on Bandcamp.
I released this
Wow.
like series of EPs. They're still up on Bandcamp, and it's like just these like 5 EPs that are released in 2020 before I came to BIM as well, where I would just record songs on cassettes as like just have the cassette as a limitation, have like a 4-track, have this really analog space where I can operate in, and that's the point. That's from where we went, like where we started recording together as well.
Yeah.
Just basically on Because I can remember I was like, we were talking in uni and I was like, fuck, this guy's into cassettes as well. I didn't know anyone else who was into cassettes. It was like, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It's a niche we shared.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It just seems like you're a big fan of like those creative limitations, because like you said, with the kind of music, like the music where people don't know their instruments, I mean, that in itself is like this, like, what the heck is going on? There's a cassette, and then you're kind of like, I have this, you know, this structure, like these limitations, and it just seems like that's really cool. It's a good way to start projects.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like creative limitations and deadlines, and then you can get really creative with what you have.
We learned the second part later.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, that's why it took so long to record all of the stuff, because we didn't have like set deadlines. But that's what...
No. It took long because there was a lot of stuff to record.
Yeah, but we maybe we weren't realistic about like how it would work as well. But yeah,
for sure.
You mean
like,
a lot of stuff, like a lot of songs, or like a lot of parts?
A lot of songs, basically.
There's a lot of reasons why it took so long, but one of them is because it was a lot of songs.
Mm-hmm. It was like 25 songs or something.
A lot.
Now it's like for the album that's gonna come out, it's 15. Which is like...
there was one point where we were like, double album, yeah.
It's kind of good, though, to have like a bunch of songs and then just cut out, even if they're good songs, be like, these are the ones that aren't as great as the other 50.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that.
How do you know? Like, I'm even curious for myself. Like, how do you know which songs to put out and which songs stay hit, you know?
Honestly, it was kind of because we had a lot of recording sessions, and some of the recordings turned out not so great. And I was just like, oh, I don't really like this. I don't want to re-record it. Let's just leave it out for now.
There was so many songs that it was almost like a resource, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that, like, this apple's gone bad. I don't want to make another one, you know? We have like 10 other apples. Let's eat one of those instead, you know?
Yeah, but that was just because like the recording of all of these songs was kind of a learning process all the way through, because we just started recording on cassettes. We were very limited with the setup that we had. And basically I remember we went into BIM, into rehearsal rooms, and just had these like 4-hour blocks that we could use for like drum recordings. And then we were like, we have 4 hours to record drums for the song, and then we have to get out. And it was kind of this creative limitation that we had. And sometimes it turned out really bad. Sometimes it turned out really good. And the good parts are on the songs now.
It's like 50-50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You did... Sorry. You guys did the music video. Well, I don't know how much you were engaged with that.
Oh, no.
But
He's not engaged with music
I really
videos.
don't want to do any music videos.
Why?
Well, we had this idea for one, which I kind of regret not doing it, but at the same time, I still stand by. I don't want to do the music videos. First of all, because I don't want, when I record with Johannes, it's important to me that it still sounds like him.
Yeah.
You know, it's important to you that it still sounds like you as well. So that's something that I find, you know, like a cornerstone of like, don't make it sound like me, because I mean, it's going to anyway, right? But not too much. So when it comes to stuff like music videos and album art and all of this, in order for us to work, I feel like, and this could go really wrong, but I feel like it's important for you to have an identity, you know?
Definitely.
It's important for you to have an artistic identity that is separate to me. I don't want to be like, let's do a music video, and then, I don't really fucking like this shot. That's shit, you know? Like, no, because it's his music video, because it is his song. You know, I didn't write the songs. Johannes wrote the songs. Yeah. So why shouldn't he write the music video, direct, whatever? You know, so I stay out of it. But I've seen clips of this one, and it looks real good. It looks like the best thing you've done video-wise so far.
I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. And you're editing it yourself. Which
it's
audiences, it's definitely a process.
Yeah.
But you like it.
I love it, honestly. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just like working in a DAW, really, I think.
What is a DAW? Just for clarification,
a
for people who...
audio workstation.
Whoa!
The acronyms.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No, but like, like for stuff like music videos, I really like to have this creative control as well, where it's like right now with the lo-fi recording step we did, to also have this like kind of visual identity of these kind of lo-fi music videos that we're doing. And I mean, I got help for like filming and lighting and everything, but like the editing process and finishing the whole product is really up to me.
So you can outsource the technical parts and still be in charge of the creative side.
That's how I did it this time, and it was really cool. And I think people also like to work on the stuff because it's a bit quirky.
Totally. And then most of this was done like around the city, and kind of, I saw a few snippets, but like how did you pick the locations and, you know, to represent this lo-fi?
I want to see the
music.
Snippets.
Yeah.
I want to see the snippet. What snippets?
That's what they give a different video.
Snippet.
From Instagram, we're seeing snippets.
Yes, that's what I think.
yeah.
I thought
was a snippet.
I want more
I
snippets.
was right.
Give me more snippets.
I have to like the first cut of the music video here as well, by the way.
Exclusive.
Never before seen.
No, I can show you later. But
Yeah, not you guys.
No, I can show you. It's really cool, honestly. But no, it was just kind of I was shooting that with a friend who was wearing that purple suit.
Okay. I thought it
Walking.
was you.
Yeah, no, that was my friend. I really wanted to be the camera person, and like just going through different places in Berlin to kind of like show the city that I'm in. Really, yeah. That was the main idea. And like the lo-fi part comes in when I'm filming with this like really old camcorder. It's your camcorder actually.
Yeah.
With
This is the don't give them what they want, right?
Yeah, don't give them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
That one's gonna be out
Yes.
this week.
Ooh, last
Okay.
week. For when this comes
Ah,
out.
okay.
Last week.
Yeah. So you
yeah.
can stream it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can stream it now, guys.
Yeah.
So
Only on Deezer. Only on Deezer. No.
How was the process for recording this song? Was it, because you guys have been working together for so long, did it take place over like a year and a half? Or was it one of those
This
ones
one
where it's
Oh
took
my
quick?
God.
really long.
This was actually...
This is one
the,
of the longest.
It's the longest. It was the last one.
With the oh yeah. Okay, that's really interesting. Yeah, we
Yeah,
recorded the
Oh my God. Why is this one the first one that's coming out?
because it's an amazing song.
Yeah, but
like
fuck me. Oh my God.
the first kind of bits I recorded on my own in Donau 115 in the bar in Neukölln. Like I just recorded the basic tracks in there on my own, and it's before I recorded that before we started working together.
The four, five song.
Yeah, it was the 4-song EP that I like.
4 songs.
Because
in Chad's
first it was like conceptualized as an EP, and then it turned into this album. But I recorded these tracks in 2021 in January or something, even before we started working together. And then we recorded some drums on it in the summer, and then recorded the vocals in the winter, I guess. And then we recorded the trumpet solo just a few months ago. And it was just lying around.
And then I
all the
mixed
time.
it all. And that was this. I mean, for anyone out there, this camera, find a good trumpetist. And the trumpet guy that we found,
He was good.
yeah, he was good. He was good, genuinely. But find a good. It was the point is that it's
The point
like
is that we were looking for a trumpet
Oh my
player for
God.
like a really long time. Yeah.
it takes a while because it was like, oh, well, we should do saxophone because we know loads of people with saxophone. No, Conan, I really want it to be
I
trumpet.
really wanted a trumpet.
Really
man.
want it to be trumpet. Only trumpet on this song. And it was, I mean, man,
Yeah.
it took so long to record because of the trumpet. And also, I don't know if you've ever recorded anything on cassettes, right?
No.
No.
And basically, imagine that like every time you record something, it's like a destructive recording. So you record something and you want to do another take. You know, let's say you already have the rest of the song on the tape. There's no other take. You either record the thing, you don't do well, okay, you have to get rid of the last thing that you just did and do it again. And,
You really only
and if
have
you're like,
one take, one run through.
I think I did it good 3 times ago. You don't have that. You got to go with this one. So like, let's say I have a day of recording person X on the trumpet, for instance, right? And with the trumpet, it's interesting. Actually, we did the trumpet digitally.
Yeah, that was the last digital bits.
But
shame.
you know, let's say we did the trumpet. It doesn't matter because we did lots of things on the tape. So like we did one thing, like for instance, a trumpet player, when they come and they do one take, on the first take it's usually the best one, because the more tired and nervous their diaphragm gets, the harder it is to play a note. So they have like, if your trumpet player isn't like an orchestra trumpet player, they have like maybe, I would say 15 minutes of stamina, and then all of the takes are crap.
Yep.
Which blew my mind. But he was like, you could tell it was like really shaky. Even his voice after he was playing, I don't know if you noticed, but it was like really like weak. You're like, you know, because he didn't have, his like diaphragm was shaking. It was really nuts. But
yeah, that was the hardest part of recording that song.
And it was in a basement with no electricity.
I saw photos of this. It looked really primitive.
It just had nice reverberation. It just sounded nice. So like, but yeah, we were in this basement with no electricity, and
it used to be a music studio as well.
But now it was an empty basement, which was really nice. And we just went down with one laptop and just recorded the trumpet there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've recorded in some really interesting spaces. How does the space make the song for you? Like, does it change? What are the biggest differences in working like in really dynamic spaces?
Well, specifically for Poison in E major, for the like one of the singles I already put out, there's like this one piano part when the chorus comes in, and you know there's like this it's playing like this one chord, just like really shaky, and there's some like really weird resonance in the room. It's like a little, like if you listen really closely to the song, it's like a
I remember.
and I just realized that after recording, and it was kind of nice.
Everyone's scared. Everyone's gonna kill me now, because I mean, it's like, first of all, only half of it was there when we recorded, so I got to save my face now.
Half of the song?
Half of the resonance was
right, yeah.
I mean, this is me saving my fucking career. No. I mean, but half of the resonance was there, but then as soon as you record onto tape, it does weird things that you just can't predict.
Yeah.
So the longer we left it, the more that resonance was there.
No, but that was
like an apple. It really does go off, you know.
But that was the amazing and the bad thing about some of the recordings that we did, that like we would leave some of the takes, we would just leave them on the cassette for a few months, and they would just change in sound quality, because we would leave them on the tape and we forgot digitizing them to a computer. So like we would just leave them there, and they kind of changed in sound and like got a different color.
It's like musical fossils.
Yeah.
You like dig them up and you're like, oh my gosh, they're like crystallized now. They're
exactly. It's crazy. It's like half the rum, half the tape. To go back to your question, it's definitely the rum at Chad's bar was not great.
No,
but the tape definitely didn't make it better. But I think it's like a fine wine, you know. It's like,
until it goes bad.
Yeah, it ages like really well, and then like slowly, really quickly actually drops off. But what I would like to do is try and bake them, because when you restore actual 24 track tape or 2-track master tape, you bake it in an oven for 24 hours, and it you get everything. You get almost everything back.
Oh,
that's
weird.
What?
Really, because what happens is that the tape oxidizes. So, not to bore the audience.
Please go on. This is fascinating.
The tape oxidizes, so it's this like little plastic stuff with little metal things, and the metal oxidizes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, in order to, I'm not so good at this part, but reverse the oxidization part, you put it in an oven, you bake it for a while. I think it's something to do.
We should have done that.
Yes, we should have. But at the same time, we need to do some tests, because the reason why it's so easy with master tape is because it's one giant reel that you can hold in your hand, and it's like physical and big. But our tape is a 1/4 inch wide
Yeah,
and
yeah.
on
We just
plastic
recorded on
wheels.
regular small cassettes,
Right. Yeah.
basically.
You know, so
Yeah.
it means that you'd have to take it off the whole reel, put it in an oven, and then put it back on, which
Yeah.
is like normally if you're digitizing and baking tape, a big no-no, like huge.
That
no-no.
reminds me of this one time when we almost lost half of the album recordings that we had done.
I'm so glad you brought it up.
No,
So you guys have any more questions?
I just remembered that like it was just this one time when we had a cassette with like we hadn't digitized anything, which is really dumb. Always digitize stuff that you're recording analog on tape, because we hadn't done that for like 5 or 6 songs, and then the cassette was like stuck in the 4-track because there was like some error and we couldn't get it out anymore, and yeah, it was just mechanically stuck. So
The tape had locked it in there.
Yeah.
Like the machine had like and like locked the cassette inside the machine. When you press play, it like moves the heads onto the tape and locks it in. And we had like, I think we switched it off and it just like
Yeah,
locked
and
it
it
in.
was
It was
just
like
like-
not letting go.
yeah, and it was just really scary because I mean we got it out eventually, but like for 2 hours we were just sitting there struggling really hard, and we're just like fuck, we just worked a year on this, and it's just like stuck in this cassette machine.
Why did you guys choose to work on tape, or choose not to record the first time on tape, not to record digitally and then run it through a tape? And
So
re-record?
there's a multitude of reasons, but so you have like some benefits for just running it through. The tape machine is like, for one, then you have like a nice preamp and a nice recording setup or whatever, right? Great. But for this project, it was really like the whole idea was let's record onto tape because lo-fi. Because when you record onto, let's say tape in general, you know, you get a lot of compression instantly.
Yeah.
So that immediately, the way I like to think of it is that immediately saves me loads of money because I don't have to invest in a compressor.
That was
the
your
main
thought.
thing. That was, yeah.
But it changes everything.
But the main thing is that it's like it gives it this character. So when tape distorts, it sounds nice. You know, if you distort on your little like Focusrite thing at home, it's gonna sound.
But you know,
crap.
my main reason was not the sound itself; it was the creative limitation.
Yeah,
of,
but see,
like-
this is why I work well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like because I already had recorded these EPs just on tape before I came to Berlin. And I mean, before, like all the years before, when I had been producing music, it was like on a computer, and I had I had no limitations basically. Like, you know,
Part of the reason that I wanted to record onto tape is also similar. It was it was creatively, it was like you have to plan out every single part that you do.
yeah, and like I just wanted to say, it really changed my approach towards recording and also songwriting in a way, because like you kind of have to plan out what you're gonna do. You have one run through. You can't fuck up and just replace like one tiny bit. You have to replace the whole track.
Yeah.
And that was the main reason for me, because I love working that way and having this like kind of, you know, you said it, destructive editing.
Yeah.
Where you can only replace and you cannot really fiddle around so much with stuff. And that was the main reason for me, because I really wanted to stick to that format. Really. And the sound is like what comes to it after, like the typical tape sound that you have, which is a really nice extra thing.
Yeah.
I think.
There's the sound, it distorts nice, but I think the main, now that you say it,
Yeah.
the main reason is like, man, it's so intricate. It's like a puzzle. I think
Yeah, like the songs now, they wouldn't be the same if we would have
100%.
recorded them digitally.
No way.
They would be completely different.
because you
I
have
think.
to go like, oh, if
Yeah.
I'm doing like I'm doing drums and there's like a section in the song where there's no drums, it gives me an opportunity. Oh man, I have a whole track free. Like I can record another instrument in this part.
Right.
You know, but if I have drums all the way through, I can't record anything else on that track.
Right.
But you know, also just in terms of the sound, and tell me if I'm blabbing on a bit.
No, you go on.
If-
Really?
It's like a 1/4 inch thick, so that's like what 6.3 millimeters, right?
Right.
That's how wide the tape is, And that divided by less than 4, but imagine it's divided into 4 sections.
Yeah.
That's how big one track is on
Right.
one of these cassettes. So it's really small, like a couple millimeters, if not point something of a millimeter wide. So it really sounds like distorted and compressed. Like you're fitting a whole, like we fit, how many mics do we use for the drums? Like
3, 4.
3 or 4 mics on one track. That's
Like basically a
tiny.
mono recording.
So it's like actually compressing the volume of the track to fit onto that little area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fully. I mean, you're like, and the cool,
I mean, that's
we
really
got
fun.
some cool fucking drum sounds.
But that's really funny because
Yeah.
all the drum recordings that we did are mono, basically.
Right.
Like
I was
we
gonna
just
ask about that.
Yeah, like
because
we-
there's no panning. There's
Yeah.
no like, or
I mean, yeah.
you could do stereo
You could.
recordings,
Yeah.
but that would take up
We
half
did.
of the tracks that we have. you know?
Yeah, stereo recordings, but there is panning.
there is.
There's
How
panning, yeah.
how does that work? Like when you're within the stereo field with tape.
So I mean, you can record. Do you want to take this one? I don't
With-
want to.
I don't
with
think I can.
cassettes, I guess.
I mean, when you record in stereo,
Yes.
you have a left and a right signal, right?
Exactly.
And you have it panned to the right and to the left, so you will hear it in stereo. But if I have a guitar track, so you're listening to an old Beatles record.
Yeah, it's only left, right, center. There's no fan. There's no possible fanning then. So you right?
So panning means like when you pan something that's not dead center. So if I have a Bose speaker, it's just one thing. It's a mono speaker.
Exactly.
I have 2 Bose speakers. That's stereo. I have a left one and a right one.
Yeah.
So I can either send something all the way left, and I have the whole clock. So from 9 to 3, left to right, I have all of those different possible places I can put something in the stereo space. So we couldn't really record anything stereo, because if we did, it would take up too much space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But we could pan things when I mixed it. We can pan things wherever. And even if we mixed it entirely on the 4-track, we could still pan things in certain places.
Yeah, but we
Right?
didn't do that. I mean, we mixed it digitally.
Yeah, so that's what I was. So you
Yeah.
mix it digitally, and then you have all
But
the
we could
freedom.
pan it even if we did it on the 4-track. The main
That's
thing
what
is,
is making me so
this,
curious.
here's the thing, right? You can, there's an output on the 4-track, right?
Okay.
It takes this, so the 4-track that we used for this recording, it has 4 channels, right? You have 1 musical thing, 2 musical thing, 3 musical thing, 4. And it has 2 outputs. So I can send musical thing 1 to the left, musical thing 4 to the right, and the other 2 in the center. And that's stereo. Even if
Yeah.
all of the recordings were in mono.
Oh no.
Hmm.
You have it left and right.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's
That
really
was what
cool.
I was curious
So
about.
there's
Yeah.
still all stereo recordings. When the-
Because his 4-track
not-
is really
yeah.
cool. It's really cool.
That's just the
Yeah, yeah.
coolest thing.
yeah,
Well, yeah. Hopefully, I get to see that one day.
Yeah, when
I
it's
was like-
repaired, huh?
when it's repaired.
Really
It's-
like so
it
nerding
really,
out on this.
It really kind of broke like after this whole process. Like it, yeah.
Just because of like wear and tear.
Huh?
Just because of wear and tear, like you'd use it so much.
Yeah. Because all these like old cassette machines that you buy, like, or like I guess most of these, they were just lying around for 20 years and no one was using them. And when you now buy one, like there's something's gonna be broken because they've just been lying around and not used.
I mean,
so
my 8-track literally it was Chad's from Donau. It was his 8-track, and it had been sitting there for a long time.
And like so it worked fine for like 1 or 2 years, and then everything kind of like just went downhill, and now it's in repair, and I really hope I can get it back, but it's
It's been how long? It's been in repair now.
like 2 months. Yeah. And there's like 2 or 3 people in Berlin that repair this kind of stuff, so
Soon to be one right here. Anyone that has 4-tracks, 8-tracks, give me 2 years. I'll repair them.
yeah, this guy can repair
Give me
stuff.
2 years. I think I'll. Yeah.
Do you have songs waiting for it to come back so you can record it?
Ooh, dude.
I'm also just gonna.
I mean, I definitely want to stick to the 4-track as a medium for recording in some way.
Yeah, in some way.
In some like
Not in the same
not
way.
in the
That's
same
something
way.
we agree on. This
not
whole
in the same
project,
way, not like
way.
not the same way that we record the whole song on this 4-track, but maybe in a way that I record some tracks analog and then put them into the computer and then do the rest digitally. Maybe like that.
I like that. Or just like having drums guitar,
Yeah.
bass, whatever, the vocals on the tape, and you can add these, other tracks if you want them digitally. But
Yeah,
that's-
definitely. It's a really good opportunity. But
It
it's
is.
like sound-wise to kind of expand sound-wise.
That's so fun.
How do you guys get into that?
That's what I
It's
was
like
gonna
it's weird. It's not like it's super interesting, but when you, especially now, I feel like when you start to get interested in production, there's so much information online about like digital stuff, and it's super easy to download something for free and just work with that. How do you get into tape?
I mean, I don't know what the exact source was where I saw it first, but I saw people online kind of using tape as this creative limitation. And I think I was just creatively really kind of trapped in this, I have a digital audio workstation. I have like endless limitations. I can just do anything. And it was nice for some time, but I feel like I really needed like a creative change. It was from the creative point, like, but I think for you was probably
But was it songwriting or was it?
It was songwriting wise as well, yeah.
Okay.
I really wanted to get into like this minimalist kind of music where I have like a couple instruments doing really specific things and not have these
but
huge
this is
arrangements
so
that I
you.
had before.
I mean, because it's like everything. I was talking to Pete from Trash Pillow.
Yeah.
It's another band, a guy from a band, and he was saying, your songs really have a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
That was something.
No, but just because I love the structure of this kind of
you love
60s pop song, because this kind of structure really gives me freedom to be creative in that framework, and I need that kind of structure, I think.
Yeah.
And it's that structure for a lot of songs that we're going to release now. It's like this kind of 60s inspired pop songs that have like verse, chorus. And it sounds really traditional, but it's the best way for me to be creative in the best possible way.
It's interesting.
That's fascinating. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much of creativity is creating those limitations for yourself.
Yeah.
It's huge,
I
having
think
that
most
structure.
of it is, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
really
I
is.
think maybe some people can, but I couldn't be completely creative or like get the most out of my creativity if I had like endless time and endless resources, I think that's
Fuck that.
that's for example, because that's why I love the White Stripes so much as well. Do you listen to the White Stripes?
Yeah, of course.
Because their approach has always been limitations and deadlines, and they recorded all of their albums in the studio within like a week or two. They never spent like more time in the studio than like 3 weeks or something for any album that they did. And
3 weeks.
yeah, and that's when they were done. And you can
If
hear
only.
you can hear the urgency in their recordings, and you can hear how like sometimes it's a bit rushed and sometimes it's a bit like the guitar's out of tune, but it's played with so much like urgency and energy.
See, he loves that. I would just
Yeah.
think that's like, but why are you rushing? Why are you rushing?
Because you have to get fucking done.
Yeah.
You have to get done.
There is a difference between, the producer and the artist, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Just two co-producers. But I'm just saying that, like, ultimately, like, in terms of creative, I mean, Johannes is like this.
Yeah.
Very
no, I'm
hard.
not creative at all. I actually
you're not
really
creative
suck.
at all.
I'm really just kind of,
Well, you're saying that, but you're saying
No,
that.
that's not true.
But you should know that when we started recording this album, it was actually we were gonna record 2 albums.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you left that part out earlier.
We were gonna record my album and Conan's
Yeah,
album.
because when you called me, you said, let's make an album. And I was like, only if we do my album as well.
Yeah.
He
And
still owes me an album. You owe me one whole album.
I still owe you one album.
Yeah.
Basically.
What was the album that you were planning? If you want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, that was...
And he should still do it. I'm just saying that.
I mean, because here's the thing. With this one that I was thinking of doing, it was actually, now that I looking back on it, it's really similar to you. I think I was really inspired by Johannes. I mean, by the stuff that I was doing. Because it was very, like, I'm not good at songwriting. I'm not a songwriter. But it was, I can tell, like, I listen back to the recordings now, and I'm still obsessed with tape. And I have an 8-track as well, and it was like I play the songs that I recorded that I was like demos, and they sound like they could be on your EP.
Really?
Yeah. The Parallel World one, for instance, like take out my singing. It's Johannes playing piano. It's my composition, but it's him playing piano.
Yeah.
So it's all the same piano playing that he has on his album with the same sound that I recorded because it's the same mic placements.
Yeah.
It sounds like the same thing. So that album was really, it was like one of those classic, I'm in Berlin. Berlin's been really tough because COVID and it's cold and dark. And that was like...
It would... Yeah, you should still do it.
I mean, yeah, I want to do something different now, but it was definitely like... it was going to be one of those... it's my first time in Berlin and it's really tough. And it was also COVID, so that's like, you know, I can be... I can be edgy about it. But no, it was... Yeah, it was about coming to Berlin and living in all of these different places all the time, and
then we kind of forgot about the album.
no, I mean I think you forgot about it. I put it away because I didn't want to do it. I mean, because I think this became so huge that it was like, why I don't want to do my thing anymore. I want to keep doing this. You know, it's like it's got legs. You know, so
yeah. We will probably still be working on this album if we did yours at the same time.
Yeah. It was long.
And how do the visuals, like other than music video, like what was the album cover inspiration for the new?
Don't give them what they want.
If I don't get them what they want, yeah.
It's a cool cover.
It is a really. We were just talking. about it.
Yeah. It's I made it in one of these photo boxes. You know, like where you just these like old school. And
he posed as well. Some of the poses that he didn't pick. Great.
What? You saw
yes.
No, I was just I was just going into these actually with this
check out my Instagram. It's gonna be
I was just going into one of these old school analog photo booths that are like all around Berlin, and just did like some posing kind of. And for Don't Give Them What They Want, for the single cover, I like just kind of burned my face. Like I took the picture and kind of like burned my face with a lighter and then digitized that.
Yeah.
Because it was just this approach. Like I always did the album covers on my own as well. And it's kind of like I don't really...
You mean on your own as in no help from any software as well, right?
I'm just doing them like analog and then digitizing them.
On paper. Like, it's really crazy.
No, I saw you had like, were they cigarette boxes? Like vintage? Like, that you were selling like some kind of merch, like mini merch.
I was selling like the, cigarette boxes, as well, with just like a cover picture on them.
Yeah, that was really cool. I remember seeing that and being like, oh, that's so delightful.
Yeah.
Analog.
Delightful.
Delightful.
No, but the approach was just like doing this analog on paper, the album covers, and then like scanning them, digitizing them. And I can... It's really like a minimalist approach towards album covers.
You get a piece of him in every little thing that he does.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
Yeah. It's nuts that he knows that that's the idea. See, I don't say this is what it's cool to work with you, because it's like, you know what it's being interpreted as. You know, it's like there's a little bit of self-awareness. Yeah. So just a little,
not too much,
not too much enough to make it meta, but in the sense that I think that's why when you're like, Johannes is selling a cigarette box. What the hell? And like, it's cool. It's like, what? Who else?
That's why I remember it. I was like, ooh.
No, it just like it also fit the song. Poison
it fits
me
the
major.
Idea.
Because it's
the
just
whole thing.
Poison me, poison you, and it's basically the song I wrote about having to drink and smoke in order to function. Basically, so I was like, this is cool. Yeah.
He met me, and then
It's the only option.
I just came to Berlin, man.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a persona there that you've had to kind of create as well, or like for your artist, or your live band, or just for public stuff like this, or is it just like you're just doing what you like?
I mean, not really. It's not really a persona. I think it's just me, really.
We wish it was a persona.
Well, we were just talking about that.
I'm just when I'm going on stage, for example, it's some kind of persona that I'm putting on, but it's a lot of myself as well. It's just, you know, on stage, it sometimes feel like you can be a bit more powerful and a bit more like, can I say, like cocky towards the audience. Yeah. But it's still a lot of myself. It's not like I'm doing this Ziggy Stardust thing where I'm just putting on this persona and being someone completely different, you know. Yeah. Yeah. It's still a lot
you can
of myself.
Enjoy the ego trip that you go through.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So cool.
I think we're kind of coming to the end. We're coming up on 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Obviously, the video's coming out. Single's already out by the time this comes out. Is there anything else you guys want to promote? Anything else you're working on? Either of you.
The EP is gonna be out on 10th of March.
Soon.
The other half of the rainbow.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, we'll be promoting that with our posts.
That's what it's called.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Not 4 songs from Chad's Bar?
I almost called it 4 songs from Chad's Bar because that was like the working title. But like the other half of the rainbow is cool.
Yeah.
This is my.
This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
This is like my self-referential era.
Yeah, yeah, no, oh man, it's gonna be really cool. I'm ready. 10th of March. That's soon.
How exciting! Oh my
I should
gosh.
definitely know this, right? I should have known that.
Feels like something.
You heard it here first, guys.
Just joking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys very much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All good things.
Yeah, we'll talk for 3 hours.
About tape.
Yeah.
About tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.